Hello, this is Dr. Anandarachakan, Associate Professor of Chemistry, Islamia College, Baniambadi. I welcome you all for this lecture on IR spectroscopy. In the previous lecture, we saw what is an infrared spectrum and how an infrared spectrum is recorded. We saw what are the causes for recording the IR spectrum, why the organic molecules are giving so many absorptions in IR spectroscopy. We saw the different molecular vibrations and the fundamental modes of vibrations, and we saw the methods by which the vibrational modes can be calculated. And at last, we saw the equation connecting the frequency of absorption with the force constant and reduced mass of the system. So, the frequency of absorption expressed in wave number is related with the force constant and reduced mass of the system. Let us see how these two terms, other terms are constant, pi and c are constant, how these two terms, namely reduced mass and force constant, are affecting the frequency of absorption in IR spectroscopy. See, first of all, we must know the formula for calculating the reduced mass of the system. See, the reduced mass of the system is given by the formula mu is equal to mx my divided by mx plus my. So you can calculate the frequency of absorption theoretically. Such a calculation is given as an exercise in organic spectroscopy by William Kemp. You can go through it. See, according to this calculation, the frequency of a carbon-carbon single bond is found to be 1185 centimeter inverse. The frequency of absorption of a carbon-carbon double bond is 1676 centimeter inverse. If you compare the frequency of absorption of these two chemical bonds, then it is very clear. Being a double bond, it is stronger, so it has a higher frequency of absorption. So the strength of the chemical bond plays an important role in determining the frequency of absorption. The atoms connected are carbon and carbon only. So mu has no change or variation. So you can theoretically calculate and you can verify whether the frequency of absorption of the various chemical bonds matches with the experimentally observed values. Such a discussion and such a calculation is given in William Kemp. Organic spectroscopy by William Kemp. It is better do it as an exercise. See, the reduced mass of the system is calculated using the formula mu is equal to mx my divided by mx plus my. Mx is the mass of the atom, one single atom, and my is the mass of another single atom y, which are connected by the chemical bond. So mx my divided by mx plus my gives you the reduced mass of the system. See, let us see various chemical bonds. A carbon can be connected with a hydrogen. Carbon can be connected with oxygen, nitrogen, and halogens. So the mass of hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, halogens, it vary. Similarly, instead of a hydrogen, you can have an isotope of hydrogen, deuterium. What are isotopes? Isotopes have the same atomic mass, but they isotopes are having the same atomic number, they have different masses. So, if you change the atom from one isotope to another isotope, there is a change in the mass. So, the frequency of absorption is effectively influenced by the variation in the mass of the atoms connected by the chemical bond. That is revealed. So, such an effect due to the variation in the mass of the atoms connected by the chemical bond is called as primary mass effect. So, the dependence of the frequency of absorption over the reduced mass of the system is called as the mass effect. In that, if the atoms connected by the chemical bond varies, then it is called as the primary mass effect. It has a telling effect over the frequency of absorption in IR spectroscopy. Sometimes the atoms connected to the chemical bond, they may vary. The atoms connected to the chemical bond. Look at the example. See, you have a ketone, CO group frequency. If you calculate the CO frequency, group frequency, then the CO group is connected to a carbon of methyl group in one compound. In another compound, it is connected to a halogen. So, the carbon atomic number, atomic mass and halogen atomic mass, they are different. The atoms are secondary. They are not connected by the chemical bond. They are connected to the chemical bond. Even then, the mass of the atoms that are connected to the chemical bond, the secondary atoms, it has a telling effect on the frequency of absorption of a group in IR spectroscopy. So, such a effect is called as a secondary mass effect. So, let me sum up. The reduced mass of the system, since it comes under the denominator of the equation nu bar is equal to 1 by 2 pi c square root of k pi mu. So, it is inversely proportional. If the reduced mass of the system is more, the frequency of absorption is less. It is of two types. The mass effect is of two types. One is a primary mass effect and another one is secondary mass effect. Please remember what is a primary mass effect and what is meant by secondary mass effect. Now, coming to the expression. The expression for the frequency of absorption is given by the equation nu bar is equal to 1 by 2 pi c square root of k pi mu. So, this is the expression. So, in the numerator we have k. It is also called as kappa. Some of the authors, they used to call it as kappa, force constant k or kappa. Actually, what is this force constant? This force constant, it actually tells about the strength of the chemical bond. I told you one example, that is theoretically calculated. The frequency of absorption is theoretically calculated in chem. A carbon-carbon single bond, a carbon-carbon double bond frequency. The carbon-carbon double bond frequency is found to be higher. The reason is a double bond has more strength. It is more strong. It is almost double strong when compared to a carbon-carbon single bond. So, the frequency of absorption is also more. So, the strength of the chemical bond, which is related to the force constant kappa or k, plays an important role. The strength of the chemical bond is affected by various factors. Let us see the factors which are affecting the force constant or the strength of the chemical bond. See, vibrational coupling is an important factor. We must understand what is meant by vibrational coupling. Hydrogen bonding, electronic effects, bond angle changes, field effects, they are all having an influence over the force constant, and they are directly influencing the frequency of absorption of a particular group in IR spectroscopy. So first let us see what is meant by vibrational coupling. It is also called as coupled interactions. See, when you are calculating when you are determining the frequency of absorption of a particular group, the vibrations of a particular group is mechanically coupled with the vibrations of other groups which are connected to the group in the organic molecule. So such a mechanical coupling is called as vibrational coupling. See, the coupled interactions can be best understood by considering an example of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide molecule has one carbon and two oxygen. It is a linear molecule. The carbon oxygen double bonds are there. So we can say that a carbon dioxide molecule is nothing but two carbonyl groups connected with each other. They share a common carbon atom. So because of this, the stretching frequency of the CO group gets mechanically coupled because they share a common atom. And such a coupling is called as coupled interactions. See, if you consider carbon dioxide molecule, then the symmetrical stretching is not producing a change in dipole moment. So it is IR inactive. I already told you how the vibrational modes which are IR active are Raman inactive, and IR inactive modes are Raman active. So for IR active modes, they should produce a change in dipole moment. Then only they will absorb electromagnetic radiation in the infrared spectroscopy. Carbon dioxide molecule, because of its symmetrical stretching, it doesn't produce any change in the dipole moment. The stretching is uniform. Being a linear molecule, the symmetrical stretching is uniform. So there is no change in dipole moment. It will not show any absorption in IR spectroscopy. But it will show an absorption in Raman spectrum at 1430 centimeter inverse. Whereas carbon dioxide molecule shows an asymmetric stretching that shows a change in dipole moment, that will be IR active, and the asymmetric stretching of the carbon dioxide molecule in CO group in carbon dioxide molecule is noted around 2350 centimeter inverse. So it is because of the vibrational coupling, the CO stretching frequency is observed at antisymmetric or asymmetric CO stretching frequency is observed at 2350 centimeter inverse. Whereas you look at this next example, that is 1,3-diketone, acetyl acetone, CH3CO, CH2, CO, CH3, are the two CO groups of ethyl acetoacetate. Ethyl acetoacetate. We have two CO groups flanking two methyl groups. Since the two CO groups are separated by a methylene group, the mechanical coupling that is present in carbon dioxide molecule is absent here. It is not so effective. As a result, the CO antisymmetric stretching or asymmetric stretching frequency is noted around 1715 centimeter inverse. So in 1,3-diketones, the two CO groups are separated by a methylene group. So there is no effective mechanical coupling. Whereas in a molecule of carbon dioxide, they share a common atom. The two CO groups are connected with each other by the common carbon atom. As a result, there is effective mechanical coupling. As a result, the CO frequency is higher. The asymmetric CO stretching frequency is noted around 2350 centimeter inverse. See, if you look at the other groups in the bottom, see, yeah, amino group, we have two NH groups. The carbon nitrogen, if you look at the amine, carbon nitrogen vibrations may couple with the NH vibrations. In the case of the amide group, the CO vibrations may combine with the NH vibrations because they share a common chemical bond. It leads to the vibrational coupling. So in the case of amide bonds, amide group, CONH2 group, we are observing two broad groups, broad bands of absorption. So the two broad bands are not because of individual CO group and NH stretching. See, they are because of the coupled interactions of the CO group with the NH group. So we are noticing two broad bands in the case of the amide compounds. Let us see a few more examples. See, you have another example. This is the case of carboxylic acid anhydrides. Here you have two CO groups, carboxylic acid anhydrides. If you have two carboxyl groups in the ortho position, for example in phthalic acid, then if you heat them, a molecule of water will be eliminated. We get phthalic anhydride, succinic acid. It leads to succinic anhydride. So anhydride formation is very easy if the carboxyl groups are ready to lose a water molecule. Two carboxyl groups must be present. So in such anhydrides, if you notice the CO stretching absorption of such groups in IR spectroscopy, then they are found to be slightly higher than the isolated CO groups. For example, in the case of an acetone, CH3CO, CH3, it is noted around 1700. Whereas the CO stretching frequency of carboxylic acid anhydrides is found to be higher. It is around 1818 to 1720 centimeter inverse. The reason is the two CO groups are not connected directly, but they are connected through the oxygen atom in anhydrides. So there is effective coupling to some extent. The coupling may not be effective just like our carbon dioxide molecule, but it is effective to some extent. As a result of the vibrational coupling or coupled interactions, the CO stretching frequency of the acid anhydrides are found to be higher. Similarly, if you look at the stretching vibrations of methylene groups, CH2 groups, cyclohexane has 6 methylene groups, so CH2, CH2, CH2. N-propane has 1 CH2 group, N-butane has 2 CH2 groups. So how about the CH vibrations and their absorption? See, the CH vibrations also undergo coupled interactions, and because of that, we are noticing the CH stretching frequency which is higher in the range, say, 3000 to 2760 centimeter inwards. Similarly, in the case of alcohols, see, the CO stretching frequency of alcohols is noted around 1212 to 1000 centimeter inwards. It is a coupled interaction. The CC bond next to or CH bond next to the CO group is involved in the coupling, and as a result, we are getting a frequency of absorption in the range, say, 1212 to 1000 centimeter inwards. For example, in methanol, formula is CH3OH, the CO stretching frequency is noted around 1034 centimeter inverse. Whereas ethanol, CH3, CH2OH, here you have a CC group, CC bond. The CC bond is effectively coupling with the CO stretching frequency. So as a result, the frequency of absorption is slightly higher than the CO group of methanol, 1053 centimeter inverse. So the CO stretching frequency in ethanol is slightly higher. Similar is the case in the CH frequency absorptions of benzene molecule. We have 6 CH groups which are equivalent. The CH stretching vibrations or CH absorptions in IR spectroscopy of benzene, they are all higher due to the vibrational coupling. So, some general rules are derived in IR spectroscopy. Suppose if two groups, if they have to couple effectively and show an absorption in IR spectroscopy, then there are some requirements. What are the requirements? That is, the groups which are going to be involved in vibrational coupling, they must have the same symmetry. So, same symmetry of vibration. Stretching vibration couples with another stretching vibration. Bending couples with another bending. Antisymmetric stretching couples with antisymmetric stretching. In spite of that, in some cases, the stretching may couple with bending. Here there is another reason, that is, there will be frequency matching. The stretching vibration will have a frequency which is very close to that of the bending vibration, just like our amide group, CONH2. CO stretching couples with the NH bending vibration in amide group. That is why we get 2 bands. So the symmetry of vibrations play an important role. If the coupling groups have the same symmetry, then coupling takes place effectively. Another condition is the coupling groups must have a common atom or a common group. So, if they have a common atom or a common group, then coupling occurs effectively. And third point is that the coupling groups must have more or less equal frequencies of absorption. If they have the equal frequencies of absorption, then the vibrational coupling takes place effectively. So these are the basic conditions, 3 conditions, which are essential for observing vibrational coupling among various groups in IR spectroscopy for organic molecules. Let us see a few more examples. Look at the example of carboxylic acid anhydrides. Already I told you, since the 2 CO groups has a common oxygen atom connecting them, the coupling takes place effectively. How the coupling takes place? The coupling is because of the resonance effect. See, if you just shift the lone pair of electrons over the anhydride oxygen, then you have resonance forms. So because of the resonance effect, the 2 CO groups are mechanically coupled. The coupling is so effective. So the 2 CO group frequencies are higher in carboxylic acid anhydrides. So the 2 absorptions are noted and they are in the range, say, 1800 to 1900 centimeter inverse. Similarly, for amides, the CO group, CO stretching couples with the NH bending vibration. So we notice 2 absorption bands in the range, say, 1600 to 1700 centimeter inverse. So there is coupling between CO stretching and NH bending or NH deformation. They are called as amide 1 and amide 2 bands. See, the vibrational coupling is also observed in acyclic secondary amides. Even if you substitute one of the hydrogens of the NH2 group with the alkyl group, there is vibrational coupling. The CO switching couples with the NH bending vibration. Here, the bands are observed in the range, say, 1563 to 1515 centimeter inwards. Now, if you go to organic spectroscopy by William Kemp, then you have a tabular column. It is giving the symmetrical stretching and anti-symmetric stretching frequency for some of the common AX2 groups. First one is your methylene group. The methylene group has a anti-symmetric stretching in the range, say, 3000 centimeter inwards. The symmetrical stretching is in the range, it is around 2900 centimeter inwards. Frequency expressed in wave number. A amino group, the NH anti-symmetric stretching 3400 centimeter inwards, symmetrical stretching 3300 centimeter inwards. Nitro group, sulfones, and coming to the carboxylic acid, it is very important. Carboxylic acids, COOH, if they are converted into the carboxylate ion, just if you add a piece of sodium hydroxide or a drop of sodium hydroxide, then it is converted into a carboxylate ion. The carboxylic acid in the unionized form will give you a CO group frequency absorption and OH stretching absorption. CO group single bond absorption will also be noted if you record the IR spectrum of pure carboxylic acids. Whereas if they are converted into a carboxylate ion by adding sodium hydroxide, then the two CO groups are showing a resonance effect. By delocalizing the carbon-oxygen double bond, you can draw the other resonance structure. So the carboxylate ion is actually a resonance hybrid, so you will observe only one CO group. That's why I have given the resonance hybrid structure. See, the negative charge is spread over carbon and two oxygen atoms. So because of that, the symmetrical stretching is noted around 1400 centimeter inwards and anti-symmetric stretching around 1600 centimeter inwards. There is only one absorption for the carboxylate ion CO group. So this is about the coupled interactions. Now, let us see the second important factor, namely hydrogen bonding. How hydrogen bonding is affecting the frequency of absorption in IR spectroscopy. First of all, we must know what is meant by hydrogen bonding. So it is not a hydrogen bond means it is not a chemical bond. Actually, the hydrogen bond is formed between polar groups that is present in organic molecule. Suppose if you have a electron-rich group, just like our carbon-oxygen double bond, you have a oxygen with a heteroatom. The oxygen has two lone pairs of electrons. Almost in all the carbonyl groups of the organic present in organic molecule are involved in hydrogen bonding because of the presence of lone pair of electrons over it. Oxygen containing compounds are commonly showing hydrogen bond because they have oxygen with two lone pairs of electrons. Oxygen containing compounds, nitrogen containing compounds, they all show hydrogen bonding. So because of this, we have electron rich centers, and on the other hand, if you have electron deficient centers in the same molecule, then you can expect some kind of attraction. So the electron rich groups and the electron deficient groups are coming very close together, and it leads to some kind of attraction. That attraction is called as hydrogen bonding. So because of this attraction, the molecules are coming close. The groups alone cannot come close. If the molecule come close, then the groups will come close. It leads to molecular association. So as a result, the hydrogen bonding has a telling effect in some of the physical properties of organic molecule. For example, the boiling point will be more. There will be variation in the boiling point if it is a liquid. Okay, and we have other structural effects due to hydrogen bonding. There is a difference in reactivity because of hydrogen bonding. So hydrogen bonding also influences the frequency of absorption in IR spectroscopy. I have explained to you what is a hydrogen bond, how a hydrogen bond is formed. In an organic molecule, we have polar groups. The polar groups are rich in electron, and we have another set of polar groups which are deficient in electrons or which are not having electron density. So such centers are attracted. See, the polar groups may be present in an organic molecule. The electron-rich center of one molecule may have a hydrogen bond with the electron-deficient center of another molecule. Such a hydrogen bonding is called as intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Whereas, we have another type of hydrogen bonding where the groups involved in the hydrogen bond are present in the same molecule. The two groups are suitably located. I will give you some examples. Such a hydrogen bonding is called as intramolecular hydrogen bonding. The hydrogen bonding is an internal effect. It is taking place within the molecule. Such a hydrogen bonding is called as intramolecular hydrogen bonding. Now we shall see an example for this inter and intramolecular hydrogen bonding. See, the first example, para-hydroxymethylbenzoate. In this example, the CO group of the ester molecule and the hydroxyl group, hydrogen, they are in the extreme ends. So the phenolic hydrogen is electron deficient, whereas the CO group is electron rich. So it can form a hydrogen bond. So the hydrogen of the OH group in one molecule is hydrogen bonded to the CO group of another molecule. That is shown at the bottom. So this is called as the intermolecular hydrogen bonding. The hydrogen bonding is between different molecules. And in the next example, you have orthohydroxymethylbenzoate. I made a mistake, small mistake. Actually, it should be the CO group that is involved in the hydrogen bonding. Here, the hydroxyl group is present in the ortho position, so it is suitably located. As a result, the hydrogen bond can be formed within the molecule. So such a hydrogen bonding is called as intramolecular hydrogen bonding because it is a hydrogen bonding that is taking place within the molecule. So we have two types of hydrogen bonding. One is inter and intramolecular hydrogen bonding. See, the two hydrogen bondings can be distinguished if it is present in an organic molecule with the help of IR spectroscopy. How can you distinguish? An experiment is carried out. If you dilute the organic compound by adding more of solvent, then what happens to the hydrogen bonded system? So that is called as the effect of dilution. What happens if you dilute the organic sample? What is the effect of dilution in IR spectroscopy over an organic molecule that is showing hydrogen bond? I told you that the intermolecular hydrogen bonding is between different molecules. There is molecular association. Dilution will pull the molecules apart. Because of dilution, you will have less number of molecules in a specified volume. So, the CO group frequency improves. The frequency of absorption of the groups that is involved in hydrogen bonding improves. It moves to the higher frequency side if there is dilution. Whereas intramolecular hydrogen bonding is an internal effect. Whatever may be the extent of dilution, the hydrogen bonding between the polar groups cannot be removed because it is an internal effect. So in ortho-hydroxybenzoic acid, whatever may be the extent of dilution, there will not be any improvement in the OH stretching frequency as well as the CO stretching frequency. So it confirms that the molecule is showing intramolecular hydrogen bonding. So it is how we are able to distinguish inter and intramolecular hydrogen bondings in IR spectroscopy. Upon dilution, if the molecule shows intermolecular hydrogen bonding, then it will show an improvement, or the frequency of absorption of the groups will increase upon dilution. Whereas the groups involved in the absorption will not show any change in the frequency of absorption if the sample is diluted. Even after dilution, if there is no improvement in the frequency of absorption, the hydrogen bonding is due to internal effect and it is called as intramolecular hydrogen bonding. So it is how we are able to distinguish inter and intramolecular hydrogen bonding. See, it is hydrogen bonding is mainly shown by the carbonyl compounds. It has a telling effect in the 1,3-diketones. 1,3-diketones, if they are slightly acidified, then they have a tendency to show tautomerism, keto-enol tautomerism. I have shown the structure how the keto-enol tautomerism is arising. Depending on the structure of the 1,3-diketone, in some cases the hydrogen bonded enol form is favored. Look at the right side, the enol form. It is also a stable form. It is stabilized due to hydrogen bonding. The OH group is hydrogen bonded to the carbonyl oxygen of the enol. So 1,3-diketones, they preferentially exist in the enolic form in many compounds. Whereas in some compounds, if the structure is not favoring, then they are present as diketones, and to a lesser extent they are presenting in the enol form. Look at the enol form. If the 1,3-diketone is present in the enol form, then the CO group frequency is observed. In addition to the CO group frequency, you can notice a frequency of absorption very close to a carbon-carbon double bond and a OH stretching frequency very close to that of the OH group, isolated OH group. So this confirms the keto-enol tautomerism in organic molecules, especially in 1,3-diketones. So hydrogen bonding plays an effective role in determining the frequency of absorption of 1,3-diketones. Let us see one more example. See, carboxylic acids, because of the hydrogen bond, they are existing as dimers. For example, in benzoic acid, you get a very broad band. Benzoic acid has a CO group and a OH group. The CO group and OH group are not showing very sharp absorption because benzoic acid prefers to exist in the dimer form, which is hydrogen bonded. I have shown the dimer form. So because of the dimeric existence of benzoic acid, which is hydrogen bonded, you get a broad band for the COOH group of benzoic acid. The broad band is in the range say 2500 to 3000 centimeter inverse. So it is because of the hydrogen bonding between the CO group and OH groups. Next comes the alcohols and phenols. Alcohols, aliphatic as well as phenols, aromatic alcohols. So they are also showing hydrogen bonds. In some cases, they are showing intramolecular hydrogen bonding also depending on the location of the group. In many cases, they are showing intermolecular hydrogen bonding. One simple example, 1-butanol, ethyl alcohol, C2H5OH. The OH group is showing a higher wavelength of absorption when compared to methanol, because when compared to isolated OH group, because they are polymeric. Hydrogen bonding is there, intermolecular hydrogen bonding is there. Whereas 1-butanol, it is a long chain aliphatic alcohol, 1-butanol. If you record the IR spectrum of 1-butanol in the form of a liquid film, then you are getting a very broad spectrum around 3350 centimeter inwards. It is due to the OH stretching frequency, but the OH group is involved in hydrogen bond formation. As a result, the value is lower. If you dilute the sample with the help of N-hexane, and if you record the spectrum in the gas phase, then the OH stretching frequency of 1-butanol is observed as a sharp band around 3650 centimeter inwards. So there is a very good improvement in the frequency of absorption for the OH stretching frequency group of 1-butanol upon dilution. So it is very clear that the intermolecular hydrogen bonding is present in the alcohols. Molecular association is there, and because of that, the OH group frequency is lowered, and I have explained the polymeric association of the OH group in alcohols and phenols with the help of this structure. So, the two important factors are discussed by us. We have, first one is our vibrational coupling. We saw how the groups are effectively involved in vibrational coupling, and what are the conditions for the vibrational coupling we have discussed. And we have seen some examples also, and we have seen what is meant by hydrogen bonding. What is the difference between inter and intramolecular hydrogen bonding, and how the inter and intramolecular hydrogen bonding can be distinguished. And we saw some of the examples in organic chemistry as a proof for the influence of hydrogen bonding in their IR spectrum. So today we have discussed two factors, namely vibrational coupling and hydrogen bonding, and their influence over the force constant or the chemical strength of a chemical bond, and how they are influencing the frequency of absorption of various groups in organic chemistry. In the next class, we shall see the remaining effects. Don't miss the next class. Thank you.